Good morning and welcome to the program Quest Today. I am Praise Sojan. I'm delighted to be on your screens this morning. By my far right, I have Misha Kosa. Good morning to you, Misha.
Yes, very wonderful morning to you.
And also I have Ifomanuko as well.
Good morning,
the lady in our
gentlemen.
midst.
Good morning.
And thank God it's Friday. We're actually talking about it, before coming live this morning.
Okay.
It's Friday.
Is that why Mishak is wearing the scarf?
I'm going to mosque immediately after my program, my recording program. After this program,
Because he's looking
don't have to be different.
Malawi.
Yeah.
They say if you can't beat them, you join them. I want to help Nigeria.
All right. Talking about helping Nigeria, we help Nigeria from right where we are discussing issues. There are so many issues to talk about this morning. So let's begin with what transpired yesterday at the House of Representatives over the state police bill, and then we'll also touch light issues of security. This morning we've seen the president also expand the Nigerian Army Division from 8 to 12. We've seen the Orire, those who were part of the kidnapping operation have been apprehended and sent to jail. So we're having a lot of conversations this morning around security. So let's begin. The House of Representatives yesterday approved the Constitution Alteration Bill seeking to establish state police across Nigeria despite a protest and walkout by members of the Minority Caucus, who argued that the legal framework required further refinement and that the constitutional amendment process was not properly followed. If you recall, just early this week, President Bola Tinubu sent another bill to the to the National Assembly, and this bill is different from the one that the Senate and the House of Reps had earlier passed. Now, the legislation was transmitted to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu to decentralize policing and strengthen the security architecture amid persistent insecurity across several parts of the country. Now, proceedings, however, took a dramatic turn during the Committee of the Whole. Rather than conducting a clause-by-clause consideration and vote, as is customary for constitutional amendment bills, the Speaker, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, read the long title of the bill before putting it to a voice vote instead of taking the bill clause by clause, and that actually did not augur well with a lot of lawmakers, especially those of the Minority Caucus at the House of Representatives. Let's just take a look at what happened yesterday at the House of Reps.
You may not satisfy every expectation or accommodate every proposal advanced by members and stakeholders. However, constitutional reform is inherently incremental. This bill represents a significant and practical first step towards the establishment of state police.
Mr. Speaker, I rely on constitutional issues. A total of 311 members. 311 members. What we require for this exercise, honorable colleagues, is 2/3. And 2/3 translates to 240.
We are talking about an institution, the institution of the National Assembly, the institution and the House as a House of Representatives. It has its own rules and laws. To disregard the clear provisions of Section 9(2) of the 1999 Constitution as amended is a great affront on the workings of the House of Representatives.
I believe that passing the bill with the speed of the light is the most patriotic thing to do. And with the fact that we have the majority behind us, including members of Labour Party, and so the people who went are the minority of the minority.
All right, so like you heard it, passing the bill with the speed of light is what is important. but some persons believe that there should be a clause by clause reading of the bill for proper understanding, which is part of what we've been talking about for a long time. But let's go to the next story. Let's just take all the stories and then we'll come back for analysis. Now, the headquarters Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps has declared one of its personnel wanted over his alleged involvement in the illegal sale and supply of military uniforms to terrorists and other criminal elements. It said that preliminary investigations indicated that the soldier who was serving at the Nigerian Army Ordnance Kits factory absconded from his unit on June 3rd, 2026. It's also said that intensive efforts are underway to locate and apprehend him to face a full investigation and appropriate disciplinary action in accordance with extant military laws. The military authorities said any personnel found to have aided terrorists, criminals, or other non-state actors through the unauthorized sale, diversion, or distribution of military uniforms, recruitment, and or other controlled items would be subjected to the full weight of military and civil laws. The Corps therefore appealed to members of the public to support ongoing efforts by providing credible information that could lead to the arrest of the wanted soldier. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday convicted and sentenced 3 men linked to the abduction of pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State to life imprisonment after they pleaded guilty to terrorism-related charges. The convicts, identified as Abdulrazak Umar, also known as Abu Khalifa or Abu Khalid, Yunusa Musa, also known as Yunusa bin Musa, and Shamsu Adamusani, also known as Abu Itza, were sentenced by Justice Salim Ibrahim. The trial were arraigned by the federal government on a 10-count charge bordering on conspiracy, aiding kidnapping, concealing information about terrorists, and professing membership of the proscribed Darul Salam sect, an affiliate of the Ansaru terrorist group. Now, before sentencing, counsel for the convicts pleaded with the court to temper justice with mercy, describing them as first-time offenders who had shown remorse by admitting their guilt. Now, the lawyer argued that the offenses for which they were convicted were not directly related to the actual kidnapping and urged the court to consider that they be married with children, that they are married, with children and had aged parents who depended on them forever. But the prosecution opposed the plea for leniency, arguing that the conflicts knowingly concealed information about the masterminds of the abduction and failed to report them to security agencies despite being aware of the planned operation. Let's take a listen.
Clearly demonstrates the commitment of the judiciary to the fight against terrorism, to show that in our jurisdiction, crimes has no place to stay. And your lordship, the court rather had them pronounced to them by giving them life sentence in respect of count 6, and also the first defendant has now been sentenced to life imprisonment in respect of the remaining count 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
All right, so let's get into the conversation this morning. We have a lot on our table to talk about. So let's begin from the House of Representatives. Of course, we know how important this state police bill is. If passed into law, it is believed that it's going to help security, it's going to expand security, it's going to bring security closer to the grassroots stage level rather, and it's something we've been talking about for a very, very long time. But we also saw a change early this week. Was it early this week or last week when President Bola Tinubu sent an executive bill to the National Assembly, so that the House of Rep had to leave theirs behind and focus on the one Mr. President sent. But it shouldn't overshadow the right procedures to check in the bill, since it is stated in the laws of the assembly that there must be a clause by clause, looking into the bill clause by clause. But that was not followed through yesterday by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I'll start with you, Meshach. Your take on this?
Thank you very much. A very wonderful morning to our esteemed listeners and viewers. It's quite instructive to understand the way legislature has been structured. It is not structured in legislative processes aligning with international best practices because of lack of independence, interference, lack of sincerity of purpose, and corruption. Now, definitely there are going to be minority because we don't only have the APC in the House of Representatives, and there has been a norm since this regime started, both the House of Rep and the Senate, that bills are not truly scrutinized. You always see the Speaker and the Senate President always in a hurry to make pronouncements because they know they have the majority, make pronouncements in line with nays and the ayes. And some people say no, police bill is very sensitive. It's something that we've all been craving for. I must let us know that it's part of I think it's in page 200 and something or 300 and something of the Confab report, or section 2 something of the Confab report, state policing. We've been craving for it. Some might postulate that yes, but the governor still controls some of this police in almost all the 36 states. Yes, they still fund, not necessarily control, because the governor cannot explicitly give the commissioner of police any order. It must be from above, from the inspector general of police or the presidency. So state police brings security closest to the people, and it brings communal security to become more interactive, more reachable to the people, because at that time anything could be, informations could be accessed. They know each other, the community policemen know the crime, the criminals and all that. Now there are clauses within that bill that say, come, let's discuss this. It's not everything. Normally it's expected that it should be discussed, because not everything that was projected that might be okay. That is why we call them representatives of the people. There are some that might be anti-people. There are some that might need more modification. There are some that there are areas that will need a lot of improvement, because we look at areas of funding, areas of training. People need to have clarity. But for you to just say, let's pass the bill and take to the president to sign, no, it's unlegislative. So, and that is why I'm in line with the minority who are saying, yes, we need to get an understanding of the context and composition of that bill, because we're talking about security here. How is the bill? How are they going to be trained? How are they going to be funded? What is the responsibility of the state police? What is going to be the relationship? Because the Nigerian police will still be there. What is going to be the relationship between the state police and the federal police? And incorporating most of these communities have vigilantes or community vigilantes, for example. How are they going to relate? Who is reporting to who? In issue of prosecution, how are we going to conceptualize interstate investigations? So these things need to, because normally if you are going to another state to go and do an investigation, you must report at that area command or report to the commissioner of police of this new state. So how big, so that there will not be anything breach of responsibility and create a state of anarchy within the security architecture. So the justification is there for the minority querying why, and the speakers and the majority members of the House. I should make them understand democracy is a system of governance that allows for inclusiveness. And when you always want to, because you are in the majority, you always want to shut down the voice of the minority opposition, always not wanting to have a platform for negotiated prognosis of issues, then we have a problem in this country.
All right. If the people said, you know the subject matter already. Somebody said there should be a hasty passage of the bill. Other people say there need to be a clause by clause reading of the bill. What's your take?
I'm going to take off from a statement from Mishak where he said democracy is a government of inclusiveness, right? And permit me to also add that inclusiveness begins with deliberation. Yes. Sometimes I wonder what our representatives, our lawmakers, understand their roles to be. There is a matter at hand, there is a deliberation, and if you pass this policy or whatever that you are supposed to deliberate hastily, where is the deliberation? Where is the conversation? I mean, you can imagine the number, the minority that are reminding the whole body of what they are supposed to do. And this make me to ask question, where are they rushing to? The state policing didn't start today. The call for it didn't start today. And now that we have seen the need, the importance of implementing state policing, why can't we do it well? Why do we always want to hastily do things and come back and start finding faults that would have been pinpointed earlier? I will always ask questions. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but when I watch the plenary, the sittings of other lawmakers, representatives, senates of other clients, I'll be wondering what is our own people doing? Because they are always serious. It's not like, somebody was saying that they play a lot. Won't somebody play? But there should be time for everything. There's insecurity ravaging the country, and we are talking about state policing, and you are so at the end of the day, if the aim wasn't met, who do you think we are going to blame? So the House of Representatives, and by extension the Senate too, they should call themselves to order and remind themselves of why they are there, which is to dialogue, to deliberate, to find, because listen, they said nobody is an island. There are things that you may proofread and you wouldn't see. In this profession, they will tell you to dot the I's and cross the T's. You proofread your script to be sure that you might read the script over and over again and you won't see a particular mistake. And somebody might see it. That is why two good heads are better than one. And they will call their attention. What does this mean? And the clamoring that the citizens are clamoring on the fact that state governors might hijack, this state policing is enough for them to, actually sit down and talk about it. What are the possibilities that the state governors are going to hijack these state policing? Except if they are telling us that it's going to be as usual.
Yes, usual. And another thing, let me add to you before you continue. If you look at it critically,
yes,
the action of the majority is creating suspicion, because there's already insinuation that it's like the APC is, why are they haste? Why don't they wait after? Why are they in a haste to create state police now that is close to election?
As if they're going to use it for
election. Except they want to use them for election as a tool.
So and I want to believe that in an institution like a House of Representatives, even if it's just one person, one member that says no, why can't they sit back, and find out why he said no? So I think for me, let it not sound heavy, but our lawmakers are beginning to wash their dirty linens outside, like becoming ridiculous.
Okay. Well, it has been passed, so there's nothing we can do. But of course, That's why we have the minority. Just a minority of them. That I think that's the reason why it doesn't get that attention or that clout that it ought to have had. But let's move on. Now, just let's merge these two stories together. It's still on bordering on security. Now, the Nigerian army, there's ordinance. They are saying that a particular soldier has gone to war, and on the other hand, those who were active in the Orire Kidnap have been sentenced to life imprisonment. Let us also bear in mind that the DSS at the time called for sterner punishments for these people. So let's just merge these two stories, together. I'll begin with you once again, Mishak.
Yes, quite instructive. The military is an arm of government that has the sovereignty responsibility of checkmating incursions into our territorial waters, our territorial landmass as well, and our territorial airspace. So two issues have been raised here. We're looking at the issue of proliferation of military by fifth columnists, which is part of the problem the Nigerian military is facing, and the victims, or rather the suspects that have been so sentenced to life imprisonment. And there's been a lot of agitation on that part of the sentencing, that it is still lenient. But I think people should understand that we're only sentenced for counts 3 and count 7. They still have so many other counts that they are still facing. So that sentence could not be ruled out entirely because the case has been so adjourned about September 20-something. And the DSS is still even appealing this present sentencing. And I want to believe that the law will take its full course, because you see, and this is an eye-opener. They are not suspended, rather sentenced because they were the kidnappers. They were not sentenced because they committed the heinous crime or killed. They were sentenced because of concealment of information of national interest. And they were equally sentenced because of membership of a terrorist organization, which by our constitution as amended in 2011, membership of a terrorist organization and concealment of information of national interest attracts a maximum sentence. So they knew the planning process of this kidnapping as far back as January, but they kept it to themselves. And it's so unfortunate that the major players, especially that the people that committed the murders, the one that cut the teacher's neck, I really wish, I don't know how they could relocate that one. But most importantly, we have to give kudos. For the first time, I must give kudos to the judiciary for the speed of dispensation of justice. I have never seen it. It's normally something that would drag on for years. We would even have forgotten about it for one day. But this one, the speed is it's like the speed of light for the judiciary. I'm impressed. So I commend them for that. Let it be a continuum. And I want to believe that we'll see justice being served at the end. But then, these are not the principal suspects, the principal actors. So they need to lay hands on the principal actors, the murderers. They are part of the conspiracy. I think we talked about the soldier.
Yeah, a particular soldier, in fact, he has absconded his unit because the army realized that he's selling.
No. It's laughable when they want to tell me they realized. Let me tell you something about. You see, this thing is common within our security agents. If you go to some of the Mame markets, some of the police headquarters, you see people
making
they say police uniforms. The tailors, they are so comfortable because they are within the confines of the security environment or habitation. You go to police barracks or police stations, they'll say, it's a policeman's wife, or the person is a policeman, but he's selling hardware. And you cannot tell me that selling hardware to civilians or to policemen or to security agents or to military men does not restrict you or does not keep you away from vulnerability of civilian patronage. Like I said, everybody has a price. And I can give you an offer you will not resist. Yes, people say, no, it not go fit. There's no way. You can't. Now, it's only for military men. You only the bias. Criminals can come through military men or security men. Criminals can come directly to you and give you an offer. Even the devil would give a clap hand. So it's instructive for them to, if the responsibility of providing logistics, which is embedded constitutionally within the rights of these security agencies, and they were doing it responsibly, as you maybe changing uniforms annually, changing their boots, making sure their hoses, their belts, everything is in perfect. And anyone that has a malfunction or is grown bigger than his uniform or whatever, it makes a complaint, is replaced immediately, even if they little surcharge. It will be understandable. But we've seen within the security architecture, when soldiers, respected rank and file, have come to complain that they are neglected, that they sew their uniforms themselves, they sew their caps themselves, they buy their boots themselves, then who do you have to blame? You blame the system. Some people are benefiting from the decay. It's not like the government is not budgeting. Defense budget is the highest budget. Defense, health, education, and that order. So when you tell me issues like this without cognitive response, then leadership is a failure, and that is where I rest my case on this.
If you just very quickly,
I also, just to add to what he said, I think these kind of loopholes come up when the authorities are laid back. Why do I say that? Normally, as a soldier, you are supposed to be reshuffling duties, right? And when you have stationed one person at a point, at a place for a very long time, there are that openings for them to commit such crimes. Because if you are on duty here and tomorrow it is me, next tomorrow it is me, Shaq, you have to actually plan yourself and keeping record of what is available. You know, most times people do not understand the assignment given to them as leaders, as a head of department, or how do you document what you have? He has been doing this and you're just finding out. Yes. It doesn't speak well.
And you know the funniest part is the part that is selling me the terrorists.
And you see why I always question the intelligence. That is why whoever that is in charge of that unit, I mean, he failed because he didn't keep an eye. How was he able to move those things and sell it to enemy? And he even absconded. Now you are looking for him. I mean, it doesn't speak well when it comes to their intelligence. The story doesn't add up.
He has gone. Yeah. He has a family. Where does he stay? Where's the barrack and all that? So many questions.
A soldier that you cannot look for. I mean, your document, your data is with them on the point of recruitment. So at this point, you don't know where he is.
Well, so many stories and so many unanswered questions. In the words of, there's a particular literature I read, I think it was in my primary or secondary school, 1 week, one trouble. You know, it's akin to what is happening in Nigeria today. You just wake up and you hear strange things. I mean, no wonder you see the terrorists having our kids.
Galore.
No wonder you hear soldiers who say that they sew their uniforms themselves. It's just unfortunate that we have a lot of loopholes here and there. Now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in other climes, but the porous nature of our agencies, the ministries, the departments, is just all over the place. That's the strangest thing I've seen about this administration. And if President Bola Tinubu want to really tighten all the loose ends, he needs to look within. That's what I think. He needs to look more within, and looking within from those in the presidency, carrying out its function as well, because you can also look at what is happening in the Senate, in the judiciary, and in other sectors that makes up the economy. Because if the president is making the policies, but there are people who are not doing well. I want to truncate what the president is doing. So it must spread round.